That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.
100% real, raw, and uncut. Deadass.
Hello, my name is Cedric, and along with my beautiful wife, Connie, we'll be hosting my brand new podcast, That's What I Said. I'm a retired Navy veteran that suffers from PTSD and anxiety, and we'll discuss how I cope with the mental illness through comedy and discussion. It's a podcast that will talk about everything from cryptocurrency to comedy. If we're worrying about the dollar going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's still a dollar, guess what? The value of that means absolutely nothing. Cryptocurrency in itself is the future of money. From spirituality to cannabis. To have cannabis on the Schedule 1 list is bullshit. I'm sorry, it is. It makes absolutely no sense. If it's a seed that can be planted and it has healing properties in it, why the hell is it in Schedule 1? Last time I checked, cocaine don't have healing property in it. From interracial relationships, I don't have a problem with people talking about interracial relationships. People try to talk bad about my interracial relationship just to think that they can get under my skin. I mean, really, it don't bother me. I mean, let's not make, call a spade a spade. But if you have a problem with someone that's in love, it shouldn't matter the race of the person. It's a mental illness in our community. The problem is people want to put labels on it. Everybody wants to put color on everything. And as soon as you put color on it, it gets treated differently. The money gets treated funny. Because if it's dealing with Asians, guess what? It's going to take a longer process unless those leaders step up and get into the president's face or U.S. leaders' face and say, this is a problem in our community. Not leaving one topic unturned. If you want to hear real, authentic conversation, interviews, and comedy, please take time to listen to That's What I Said, because I said what I said.
Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. Listen to That's What I Said. Available on your favorite podcast platform.
Y'all know what time it is. Turn up. That's what I said.
Welcome to another episode of That's What I Said with your host, Cedric Sanders. Giving you 100% authentic, real, raw, unapologetic truth with no filter. The broadcast starts now.
Good, y'all. What's good? As always, I'm excited and overjoyed to be able to interact with the fan base of the podcast. That's what I said. So what's good? It's Tuesday evening. Y'all know what time it is. That's What I Said podcast. I'm always not by myself, joined with my lovely wife, Connie. Say what's up to the people, babe.
What's good, what's good, what's good? Thanks for tapping in and tuning in with us on this fantastic Tuesday evening. Appreciate it.
You need to go ahead and talk to the producer and get you a what's good button. So we can so we could get the
Producer
party
over there slacking. That's what that is.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm the producer too. Shit. Okay. My bad. So tonight's podcast is it is definitely not, we're not going to get into this conversation about finances. I mean, it partially will and partially won't. Majority will not be. I can always adjust how I conversate in my podcast. I just think that sometimes it warrants a deeper conversation. And tonight's no different. Tonight's going to be a very interesting topic. Let's just say that. I don't have a quote for today.
No.
And the reason why is because I wanted to actually just like have a conversation. And typically that's what a podcast is. You're having a conversation. But tonight is different. Tonight is a conversation that should have been, it's not even should have happened already, because you can go on social media and talk about the status of Black America or the existing of being Black in America. Part of the title of this podcast is from a quote that Kansas City Mayor gave Mr. Lucas. And he basically said, for those that don't know, there was a 16-year-old that was shot in Kansas City last Thursday. All for, making a mistake. Wrong address. He was supposed to go to Terrace and he went to Street, and went to the door, knocked on there, or rang the doorbell. And in typical fashion, what do? We ring a doorbell, and if nobody comes, you try to see if the screen or glass door is open, and you try to pull it open to knock on the interior door. 16-year-old was met at the door by the homeowner, who was an 85-year-old man, Andrew Lester. And basically, Lester had a .32 caliber revolver and shot this 16-year-old. And then from witness accounts or from what news media has put out, that he shot him again as he walked by and basically left the property. This was 10 o'clock at night. The mayor of Kansas City came out and said, because of all this whole big situation that happened and transpired, basically said that the 16-year-old, which is a Black kid, the homeowner, the 85-year-old, was a white man. And the reason why that's important is because the police didn't arrest him. In turn, they got a statement from him and released him.
That's the part that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how do you release somebody after they shoot somebody? Regardless of their ethnicity, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. You should not be just releasing them after they provide a statement. That's the part that pisses me off and irks me to no end.
Well, a lot of times that's the reason why I think in some places a person gets arrested for shooting someone. They don't pass away. They don't die or anything. They basically, in the hospital or whatever. And the police said that they didn't have any charges to hold them on. I'm confused. Baffled by this, because stand your ground is out. Stand your ground is if someone is within your domicile.
Correct.
Not outside of it.
Right.
Now, if they're posing a threat on the outside, on your property, that threat has to be kind of known.
Right.
But someone that doesn't live in a domicile is in your house and you don't know them, you would have every right to protect your dwelling. You have every right to protect your house. That's just my opinion. I'm sure that's how the law is, because I've heard it said, spoken, and delivered so many damn times in the last 10 years.
Right.
Not to mention living in Florida, where it's like hallmark that. It's just weird to me. He shoots this 16-year-old, and he seems as a threat is part of his statement. He feared for his life. He didn't know if he was trying to break into the house. Well, did you fucking ask him?
Right. Before you started shooting, Didn't even ask questions.
Opened the door, saw it was a black kid, had his gun in his hand because that's what he grabbed when he got up because he said he was in. He said he was in the bed. So okay, natural reaction. It's 10 o'clock at night. You know, you're the only person that lives in that house. And somebody knocks at your door and it's 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
I'm not putting myself in that situation. But at the same time,
right.
I don't know.
There was nothing even asked before the shots was fired, and that just.
I think that the weirdest thing about this whole thing is I guess his grandson came out and said something about the situation. The homeowner, the 84-year-old, his grandson came out and said something. He just said that it's just crazy. I wish it didn't happen. It never should have happened. Said that his granddad was a retired aircraft mechanic and all this other stuff. And, you know, it's just,
yeah.
I just don't know.
It's a sad situation for sure. It really is. And then to turn around and turn himself into the police to only bail out a couple hours later.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that a lot of people will say, "Oh, that could have been anybody." Blah blah blah. You know, it was dark. You know, it didn't have no light. So why are you going to the door when you know you don't have lights on your porch or any lighting on your porch, even for you to even see who it is? You thought somebody was trying to break into your house, so the first thing you do is shoot?
Yep. But I think that's...
Not once, but twice. It's different.
That's where we're coming to in this day and age, is that people are instantly going to a weapon and not asking any questions and just shooting. Just like that girl in upstate New York pulled into the wrong driveway to turn around and was shot and killed.
Yeah, but this wasn't white and black. And plus he said that they were causing a ruckus or something like that. So he went out and started shooting. Didn't
ask questions.
Didn't ask questions or nothing. So it's like, it's getting...
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm getting
okay.
ignorant.
I'm all about protecting your home. You know, have a weapon, whatever. Protect your home.
Right.
But what I'm against is if you have a gun in your house with modern day technology, wouldn't you just, I mean, having a camera outside your home and purchasing a gun, that price tag is it has a big difference in between. Because most guns are a little bit more expensive than you would spend money to buy a damn camera. Or a security system that has cameras that you pay monthly for.
Right.
I mean, yeah, have a gun and ammunition or whatever. I mean, to protect your home, you're probably spending, with inflation, we'll say $500 to $1,000. Actually, I'll take it a little steep further. We'll go to $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to be modest, we'll just break it off and just say that the budget is $5,000. Because you want to buy a safe, you know, ammunition. Okay.
A security system doesn't cost that much.
Well, yeah, I know a security system doesn't cost that much, and that's kind of my point. To me it seems more advantageous for you to be able to not only be able to see or record the threat, but know what the fuck you're walking into.
Right.
Especially if you feel like, you know, you got to have a gun in your house. To me, you would want to have a security system in your house too, so you wouldn't be going somewhere blindly. That's just me being in the military and me probably overthinking and my PTSD and anxiety. I don't know. But it makes sense to me.
And I get some people just don't
feel like they need to have that type of
added security. Right.
Yeah.
You know, and those people that are gun owners are typically responsible gun owners. And they don't just shoot, like you said, unless their home has already been advanced on, where someone is already inside the home or has already caused a threat to them. Well, that's the only time that they typically would utilize their weapon.
That's what you would think.
Unless they're out hunting.
Well, yeah,
two different scenarios, but still, responsible gun ownership.
Well, it's that, and I think it's a matter of opinion, because not everybody is going to think on that same scale, but at the same time, a lot of people ain't thinking. And we know they got guns in their house, or we're allowing people at these age brackets to be able to be responsible enough to buy guns. And I think everybody should be able to have a firearm on them to protect themselves. But I don't think it should be as freely allowed as it is in certain states. And people are okay with it only because of how populated it is and how much crime it is and how much poverty it is and everything else. So I think it gets distracting, because you have to know gun laws in almost every state you go to.
Right.
And certain people won't travel without their gun. There's people that get to the point in life where they want to be able to protect themselves, but it's like each state has different laws. Each state has different, I guess you could say, different ways of looking at guns. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying every person in the world is irresponsible. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that for the responsible people, they shouldn't be punished,
right,
by the people that can't control their own emotions, control their anxiety, whatever the case may be, and we letting these motherfuckers have guns.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's the problem that's occurring right now, is that regardless if you have and are a responsible gun owner, you're being penalized by the people that are out doing dumb shit.
Well, this is the problem. This is the major problem. They're starting to now play I guess, give more attention to shootings that involve whites and blacks. Mm-hmm. They're starting to give more attention to more shootings in general, especially when it involves people under the age of 22, 23.
Yeah.
In their early 20s. Anybody from, say, 25 and under, most news outlets will have something on it or whatever. If it's a homicide, yeah, they're going to definitely put it on the media. But the dynamic of how this happens is really weird, because the frequency of crimes that happen in certain cities get more airplay than cities that don't have as much crime, or the crime is not newsworthy, significantly, worth talking about. Mm-hmm. I just think as a society, we need to be able to pick news channels that's for the community's best interest, and not just news channels that just wants to get up there and tell the news the way that they get paid to tell the news. That really ain't news. It's just their opinion of how they want to tell shit.
Yeah.
No, this is not me bashing news networks. It's just telling the truth. Case in point, I don't give a shit who you are, what your political affiliation is. This is just my opinion. It's my podcast. These are my opinions. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do if you don't agree with my opinions. There's a lot you can do if you agree with my opinions too. But I'm just going to say this. Fox News was being sued by the Dominion, the company that did the voting machines. Basically, Fox News lied and said all these disparaging things about this company that was, I think less than, maybe right at $50 million, the net worth, maybe more, maybe less. I'm not for sure. But it wasn't like one of those big companies. And hell, it might have been less than 50 million. I just know that this company was not a big company because it had investors. And if it had investors, then that company net worth was, I'm sure, in the millions, but not a high significant like Fox News, where they get like $1 billion, I think, a month or some shit like that. Some bogus amount of money just to tell the news. And they basically lied on this company, saying that they had this voter fraud or voter blah, blah, blah going on. And Dominion sued them for $1.6 billion. Billion with a B. Okay?
What?
Billion with a B. 1.6 billion. How about Fox News had a serious change of heart? Because the way they said it wasn't because they agreed to what Dominion was saying. And they never came out and said they lied. They ain't even apologized to the people with the bullshit that they came out with. But why would you settle if you was telling the truth?
Exactly. I'm sorry. 1.6 billion.
No, it's not even that.
And the fact,
babe, it's not even that. It's the fact that, okay, maybe it is the 1.6 billion.
but I mean, shit,
When you
if they
find
was
out you're
telling
getting
the
sued for 1.6 billion, you got to figure out some life decisions. How are we going to pay,
truth, right? Where's this money coming from?
old buddy that they paid $25 million to, Henty or whatever his name is? Yeah. Like, I think he gets like $45 million a year or some shit like that. His net worth was well over $400 million. This is a news anchor, y'all. This is a journalist.
This shit is wild.
But what I don't understand is how are these people journalists when the only news that they pretty much tell is what I think what gives a bigger political rising.
Yeah. And the jacked up thing is that the anchors for Fox are not required to acknowledge the lies that were told as part of the settlement.
Well, the reason why they can't, this is the thing. If Fox News said, we're going to pay this money, but this is our stipulations in this settlement, Dominion has to not only agree to the money amount, but also the terms and conditions. I'm sure Fox News had some terms and conditions in there.
Yeah.
And one they left out was letting people know how much they settle for. Yeah. And the reason why they try to keep that like confidential in the NDA or whatever like that is because it could be damaging.
Right.
But this is how news can brainwash people. The way it's told. Absolutely the way it's told. When people start having an opinion about false information and strongly have a positive reaction or want to have this I guess you could say it's more of a direction of feeling for a certain situation based off of the information you're getting from a news network. And ain't nobody else talking about this shit but Fox News.
Right.
Nobody else, right? If you come up with a settlement for just less than half of what the amount was going to be, not that they was going to get 1.6 billion. Let's be real. But even with that being said, 787 million has just changed that voting company like for forever.
Forever.
I mean, because most companies, if they go through a situation where, you know, certain news networks downgrade them and plagiarize them and all this other shit like that, they ain't got enough money to put down to get lawyers and sue and all this other stuff. This place was like, everybody knows it's a complete lie. Every news network not associated with Fox News know this. I think I got more people on my side than, wait a minute, I might have the judge on my side too. So it's just weird how all that transpired.
Yeah.
They basically settled for $787 million and basically telling the world, yeah, we lied. But of course, they're never going to come out and apologize or say anything. Why? Because now they wanted, in the stipulation of, you know, one of the things was to not let people know who were the anchors that lied or provided the false information or whatever case may be, right? Mm-hmm. They don't want that to happen. The problem is that
they're trying to save face.
Nigga,
time.
it was all of them.
They trying to save face.
It was all of them. It was the whole, people can sit there and say, I'm not going to report on that. Not the way you write it, blah, blah, blah. These anchors are getting paid millions of dollars just to read a teleprompter. Yes, they have to have personality and be able to have that vigor and that enunciation and the vocabulary and all that type of shit. They reading from a teleprompter, y'all. Me and little Daryl can do that shit. Like, are you serious? And they paying them $45 million just to read off a teleprompter? Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
And these are the people y'all believe in?
It's wild.
And y'all can't believe people that will actually do some research and give you their personality, and it's not doctored up with makeup and trying to dress like you going to prom every goddamn day just to talk into the damn camera and doctored up stories. Some truth, some lies. Not the real news that's going on out here. Like, the sad part is that we had to have too many of our people get murdered as technology was evolving. And we're not evolving with the technology. We're allowing it to be an asset to us, but we should not be always in front of the damn camera, killing each other, being jealous of one another, not progressing to be better. You know, it's a difference between humbling yourself and just living your life and staying the fuck away from people. I'm not saying you got to be scared. You got to live on this earth just fear for your life. No. The people that are for you are going to extend that invitation to you without you having to seriously look to see if these motherfuckers support me or, you know, or they going to have my back if some shit go down. It's like, you shouldn't have to feel that way. But being black in America, I can tell you right now, we existing in this bitch. That's all we doing. We're not living. And I served 20 years. And I can honestly say I was treated like a racial bitch my first duty station. I mean, and parts of my Navy career as well, but I mean, you know, you just stand on your 10 toes and you just, you know what's right. I don't care about your opinion. You can go to your fucking meeting after you get off work. Just don't bring your work here. This is a different job, motherfucker. And last time I checked, I outrank you. So if your permanent job needs to go to a fucking meeting at 8 or 7 o'clock, you can have all the time in the world to go. You just won't be coming here. Can't have them conversations no more. People don't have thick skin. People don't want to argue with you no more. They'll just rather pull out a gun and shoot you when they the wrong. They in the wrong.
That's a sad reality that the world is coming to right now, is that, like you said, for most African American people are just existing in this world that we live in, and they just do their normal day-to-day stuff, but it doesn't feel like they're accepted in anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Well, the weird thing is that the tragedy I was talking about earlier that happened in Kansas City literally was a block from where he needed to be.
Wow.
And after he was shot, he crawled to other neighbors' porches and didn't nobody help him. But they was out there, knowing what happened. It was 10 o'clock at night, so I know everybody wouldn't sleep. Not in Kansas City anyway. But it's just weird how we live in a society where people don't want to hear the reality of what's going on. They just want to comment on it. They don't want to have a discussion about it. They just want to comment about it. I commented on a good friend of mine that I went to high school with's post earlier today. And I was restricted. I was restricted because I could have promoted violence in something I said that I thought was funny. And I don't do dark humor. But I guess what I was said was misinterpreted. And I'm kind of confused how it could be misinterpreted when the level of what I was talking about was really a completely serious comment that, I had to have funny shit in between. But I think it goes to a different kind of understanding on how they want to control a certain race of people.
And they want to control what you say.
They want to control what you say, and they want to control the narrative.
All the time.
I think the worst that's obviously happening, but we as, I guess, a culture, as a race, we can agree when something is obviously wrong. If an unarmed black man gets shot by a white man, it's always going to be racial. It's always going to be that. Excuse me. And people don't understand why it's always got to be racial. Y'all made it that way. I mean, am I speaking any lies? We couldn't have made it this way. We was not racially, profiled, taken from our family, split up, spread all around the country where we're still not accepted, allowed to be in the military, allowed to vote, allowed to go to school, allowed to sit on the bus, not in the fucking back, allowed to drink in the same water fountains, use the same bathrooms, go to the same churches, have the same jobs, become president of the United States, become mayors of cities, become governors of states, be in the U.S. and the Senate, and become preachers and lawyers and doctors and all these other things. But we still can't live on the same street. We can't go to the same grocery store or gas station. Can't go to the same movie theater. Can't drive in the same lane as you. Can't vote next to you. Funny thing is we can cry next to you. We can laugh next to you. We can have conversations next to you. But so being social, I think, is an inner anxiety that all black people have. And we shouldn't have to feel that way. We're born here just like y'all was. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I think the damaging thing about that whole conversation and just me thinking about it, I never once got angry. I should be. But for what? I mean, I am angry, don't get me wrong. I'm angry that a family has to deal with a 16-year-old boy that got shot in the head twice by an angry white man who, quote unquote, attached a criminal complaint. I mean, the police attached a criminal complaint, but they basically added that criminal complaint basically because when he came in there and did a statement, his words.
I thought he was breaking into my house.
No, he said, "Don't come around here." It's I don't know. Oh, he got him in the head and the arm. They made it seem like he got shot in the head twice. He got shot in the head and the arm. I don't necessarily agree with how this whole situation happened. And then for him to only get charged with where's my note? Because I knew I was gonna forget it. He got charged, I think it was with 2 felonies. And the 2 felonies don't have hate crime in it, nothing racial, nothing.
Of course not.
Nothing that protects the black boy or the black young man. Nothing. Like absolutely nothing. And I think that's the one thing that's really weird to me. Because if nobody on your block is going to help you, he definitely is not going to help you because he just put a gun out on you and shot you.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just really kind of weirded out by this whole process because I don't understand how, regardless of the 2 felonies that he's charged with, regardless of those, he is a child.
I was just gonna say there's no charge for, brandishing a weapon, endangering a minor, none of that stuff.
No, brandishing a weapon that's not something you can brandish a weapon in your house if you're protecting your house. It's not brandishing a weapon. Brandishing a weapon is in lieu of a crime, like armed robbery. They attach brandishing a weapon to armed robbery. That's what armed robbery is. Brandishing a weapon while in the process of taking some shit that don't belong to you. I'm surprised hate crime didn't get added to this. Only because, again, they ain't even been to court yet. And his grandson said, I go visit my grandpa and I will get lost on those streets. It's easy to do. They all look the same and everything. He said he get lost in those streets, which means this collaborates the story of this young man that got shot. And everybody was saying that because literally he was one street from the street he needed to be at. It's just difficult that it's difficult when cities become numb to shootings.
Especially of a child.
Well, yeah, especially of a young child, 16 years old, is getting more play because, yes, he's black and he's 16. If he was a 16-year-old white kid, he would still get some airplay. Don't get me wrong. It's a child. But CNN wouldn't have played it if he was, another black man kill another black man or drug overdose or some shit like that. That's not getting radio play.
No.
What's getting radio play is the obvious divide that's there racially. And this is kind of a standing point. It may involve a racial, component or a racial influence. We don't know how they're going to draw up the charges. Well, or what is detailed in the charges. We just know that there's not a racial component on the two charges that they came out with that, to me, isn't conducive to the actual action of what happened.
Right.
Yeah, he was charged with 2 felonies. I'm trying to get what those felonies are so I can be completely correct on it. It was basically an assault charge, and it was something else that they said. File criminal charges against blah, blah, blah. Armed criminal action, that's what it was. It was first degree assault and armed criminal action. First degree assault. I'm sorry, when you are shooting somebody in the head, you're not trying to commit assault.
No.
So first off, that first charge needs to be upgraded to attempted second degree murder. Can't prove it was premeditated. So attempted second degree murder. Armed criminal action, yes. Hate crime, I mean, they will probably know his history or get to know his history. I don't know. He was taken into custody today and made bail and is free.
Back in his home.
Back in his home where they've been protesting.
Yeah.
It's, man, this is, it's crazy how it's just crazy how this is so real right now. It's real to the point where it's like, you fear for your own kids. You fear for other people's kids that you might have a relationship with or no. And you fear for them only because you know they can take care of themselves and they wouldn't put themselves in situations like that. But guess what? This kid wasn't even putting himself in a situation like that.
Right. He just went to the wrong door.
He just went to the wrong door.
On the wrong street.
And it's like, why do we have people like that in this world that just won't just, hey, how can I help you? I'm so-and-so and I'm looking for blah, blah, blah. And, well, you got the wrong house. You know the address? What's the address? We don't have people that just...
Right. They don't ask questions.
Try to help people or whatever. They just have the fear, oh, shit, he's trying to rob me. I'm sorry. At 10 o'clock at night, I have cameras. Somebody knocks on my door and I don't know who it is, I'm damn sure not going to go down there and open the door. I have cameras, and as a matter of fact, I have a whole intercom system.
Yes, can I help you?
I sound like Pee Wee Herman in a minute and shit. You got me fucked up.
Oh my God.
But you know, it's I don't know. To me, it's about protection of your property. It's about maintaining the security of the kingdom. No kingdom is not watched. Every kingdom has a watch. You have to set the watch to secure your kingdom. Everybody's like, that's the dumbest shit ever. I'm like, okay, don't appreciate your shit then. I worked hard for my shit. I'm keeping my shit. Ain't nobody taking my shit. I protect my shit. Protection is like the one thing that it's not even, there don't even need to be a law about protecting your shit. You're protecting your shit. I'm not telling you should break laws. What I'm telling you is listen to what I'm saying. If there's laws that's created, I guarantee you 90% of them are about protecting your shit. Self-defense is not just a random saying that they say that after a shooting, he was trying to protect it. No, it was self-defense. You know, guy charged at him with a gun and he just got the shot off first. Blah, blah, blah. Now everybody in the world knows your damn address and protesting in front of your house because somebody tried to break in your fucking house with a gun in their hand and you lit off first. Just saying. They have laws to protect your shit. Stop abusing these laws and know the laws because they actually work for you. Despite the level of the concentration of, you know, choosing racial division in this country, because it is by choice. It's not a mandatory feeling you should have. We're human fucking beings. Just the hue of our skin tone, skin tone is different. That's it.
Yep, we all bleed the same color. Just saying.
I don't know. Anywho, I didn't want to be in here long talking about this, but I think the status of America when it comes to black men is not paid attention to at all. They only give a fuck about is giving money to other countries to make sure that their survival, and we the ones that need the money.
Yep. We have a huge population of people here in our own backyard that's not being taken care of.
I mean,
we need to start taking care of those people first.
We gotta
instead
properly
of continually going to other places
right.
and just dumping off billions of dollars.
It's like you want to be so popular, but you ain't even popular in your own home. That don't even make no sense. You want to be popular in all the other countries except for where you were at. Where your area of responsibility is. Motherfuckers here don't even like your ass. But you out here parading around in all the other countries and shit like, yo, I give you a couple billion and some guns. What's good? No, it's like, nigga, how we gonna get all these damn drugs that keep manufacturing and get these motherfuckers off the streets?
Right.
So our kids don't have to dodge this shit when they come home from school. You know, they can actually hit the bodega and actually enjoy some fucking music, riding back, you know, walking back home or whatever. No, they got to dodge fucking, you know, just dope in the streets and shit. You just keeping criminal activities employable. People don't realize this is the only job you can get without having to do an interview or a job application. Straight recruitment. And people don't realize that this shit is being brought on by how they treat people. It's like how you don't care about the people that live in your own country and not try to help or provide for them, even when people make mistakes and they want to do better. You punish those people that want to do better and they have to go 10 times as hard, and they're, you know, successful. Some people are, some people don't, you know, are not successful. But the point is, it's like, what are we doing to help people out? Not just black people, people in general.
Right.
I mean, I can only speak for black people because of the experiences that I've been through as a father. It's just like, when y'all gonna make it not necessarily have to be easy, but why are you making it so difficult for people to just be successful? It's like people make barely enough money to be able to buy a house and live comfortably. And then everybody was like, well, so what are you basically saying? Nobody should live in apartments? It shouldn't be no damn apartment buildings. None. You should be teaching people how to buy houses when they're in fucking high school. They should be working when they're a sophomore in high school and saving money so they could buy a house when they graduate. I'm just saying. Why not? Y'all want to build all these low income places and all this other shit, but you don't want to build houses and teach how young people need, you know, how they can understand this or, you know, whatever they want to do with their money and understand the stock market, whatever. But teaching them how to be a provider, teaching them how to have the responsibility of wanting to go to work and save money and be successful. We don't teach people that because everybody said that's a program. They should be able to do what the hell they want to do. You're absolutely right. But they shouldn't be able to just walk out of damn high school and try to figure this shit out for 20 years. Or 15 or 10. They shouldn't have to do that.
And be in debt going to school for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's like y'all, they push this. They push.
Charge so much to go to college now. I'm shocked that any kid is even attending.
This is what pisses me off. They push
ridiculous
for higher education. They push for it.
In everything.
And everything. Be in a corporate setting, you have to go to this school or you have to have this degree and da 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 da.
Yep.
When you got somebody that's been working there for 15 years and you won't even let him go to the 9th floor. But 25-year-old dude graduate from college, he goes straight there.
Right.
And which means that person that's been in a company for like 10, 15 years worked for his ass.
Yep.
And he like in his late 30s. He about to hit 40. Mm-mm.
And that person is working for the younger generation.
Not saying that, you know, everybody says, you know, well, that's what happens when you go to school. Yeah, I get that. But you know what? We were taught to be workers.
Yep.
We were taught to be workers. This is all a program. I'm just going to put it out there. Conspiracy theory. Ding, ding. Maybe. Should I push the rabbit hole button? I'm saying. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Because tonight's the night. So, you know, Rockefeller. Right, babe?
Mm-hmm.
Conversation we had. So Rockefeller created the Board of Education. and said, I want a nation of workers, not thinkers. I know I said this on a podcast previously. But this is the reason why we're in the social construct that we are when it comes to our education. They are teaching us what they want to teach us. To be workers, not to be thinkers. Well, guess what? If you guys actually thought about changing the Board of Education, like, seriously, how come we haven't challenged the Board of Education to where we've made it? They're trying to make it to where they don't teach Black history shit in Florida. Everybody's like, oh, they don't want us here. Where the fuck are you gonna go? I thought this was home. Well, okay.
So you mean what our parents taught us as we was growing up is to work hard, get a job, work hard at that job, and, you know, working hard is a characteristic that you have instilled in you because you learned it from your parents or your grandparents, and you're basically saying, don't work hard. Think instead.
I'm trying to say this. Everybody has the capability to not only think about what they want to do, but what they want to be in life. It's not dictated by who tells you what, how they tell you, all that other shit. No. People tell you, oh, you did this, you did great in this, you like math, yeah. You like science, yeah. You find somebody's strengths, and that's the program you're going to put them into, because they're going to be interested in that because they like it. No, what do we want to do? Oh, he loves math and English. You plan on sending him to college? Because he might get an academic scholarship. Then you got to have another conversation with him. What do you want to be when you grow up? You want to go to college? It's like, don't nobody want to deal with college when they've been dodging bullets in school? What the fuck's wrong with you? You serious? It's like, this is the type of shit that's going through our kids' head that we're not even paying attention to. They don't even want to be there. Because y'all don't pay the teachers enough for them to even feel like they want to be there. Some want to be teachers, yeah, but are you paying them enough? Hell no. So it's like, how are the kids supposed to enjoy themselves when y'all don't even enjoy yourself? Goes back to the whole shit about our country. Let's go pay these other countries so they like me, I like them, but don't nobody in the country that I live at fucking like me because I don't do the same shit there. I don't get it. The reality is I don't get it. I'm not supposed to get it, and I'm not trying to understand it. I think I'm just a forgiving person because for me, it's hard to understand how people can hate you so much. But these same people that you hate so much would actually try to help you if, you was in a situation, or if you needed them, needed help or whatever. It's like, not everybody is destined to watch you just fear for your life when you see a fucking black man. That's just not the reality at all. We shouldn't have to live in a society where we're worried about what people do to us. And everybody wants to say, well, here we are. And I was like, yeah, we're here because nobody wants to fix it. They want to distract you with the dollar decreasing. The Brax is getting away from the dollar. And you know, everybody's in fear of that. So they're taking their money out of banks and they're trying to put it in other, you know, secure locations and all this other shit. It's just, you want to distract us with all this other shit, but not even just dynamically take care of the things that need to be taken care of. Okay. Anywho, you got anything for the people before we get up out of here?
No, I don't. Not this evening.
Well, it's been one of those nights. I just think tonight has been one of those episodes where the moniker "That's What I Said" and I Said What I Said fit in very well, because it's just how I feel. It's my opinion. I mean, it's unadulterated truth from me and how I feel. It's my opinion. I mean, it ain't nobody else's. And I'm not expecting anybody to be okay with what I said or be disagreeant. It's just a different view. The truth. I'll holler at y'all on Thursday. Please enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Enjoy your Wednesday. It's hump day. We out of here. Peace.
That's What He Said with Cedric D. Sanders.